So in the last session we have discussed about important questions, most expected questions of botany. These three chapters are very important. If you are not able to draw this diagram, you can use this figure. Hello everyone, I hope every one of you are doing great and you are all set for your biology board examination. So in the last session we have discussed about important questions, most expected questions of botany, and today your botany mentor, myself, Dr. Ankita, have came here for discussing most important diagrams of botany from your NCERT for your board examination. So I hope you have revised everything of your syllabus. So let's see what are the important diagrams for your board exams. Every one of you are aware that there are some basic important chapters like sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Then we have principles of inheritance and variation, molecular basis of inheritance, and all the chapters of ecology plus microbes. Out of these chapters, these three chapters are very important for their diagrams. In your board examinations, you will get diagram-based questions. It is for sure. So you have to revise, you have to practice all the diagrams by making them in your notebook. All the labelings has to be done in your answers. And if any question comes for labeling, you should know which part denotes what. So let's begin our session with the very first chapter of your NCERT, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. The first figure that you can see over here is of flower. Very important diagram. You may get this question in long answer type. Draw a well-labeled diagram of a flower with proper labelings. So over here you can see this is your ovary, the swollen part. This is a stalk-like structure called as style. This is landing platform of a flower called as stigma. This is petal. This is anther. Anther is connected with the help of filament. Then we have sepal. You should know the functions of each and every part of the diagram. If you are not able to draw this diagram, you can use this figure. So I have made another figure that is much easier as compared to your NCERT diagram. So you can draw this diagram also, and all the labelings are very important. Okay, coming to the next diagram. Next diagram is of typical stamen. You know that stamen is your male reproductive organ of angiosperms, right? Male reproductive organ. It consists of filament and anther. Filament and anther. Anther is present at the distal end, whereas filament is present at the proximal end with respect to receptacle or thalamus. So over here you can see clearly this is anther present at the distal end. This is your swollen part. This is your receptacle or thalamus. This is your filament. So over here the transverse section of anther is shown where line of dehiscence is present. You can see this is the line of dehiscence. This is the line showing the attachment of anther with the filament. These are your pollen sacs that controls or that have pollen grains. And these pollen grains are released during the process of pollination for fertilization with the egg cell present in egg apparatus. Very important diagram. Third diagram is of young anther transverse section. See, transverse section of young anther. A is showing you the enlarged view of anther with various layers. First layer, outermost layer is epidermis, followed by endothecium. Then after endothecium, middle layers are present. The innermost layer is tapetum. Tapetum is controlling the growth of anther. It is providing nourishment to the, developing pollen grains, not the anther. And sporogenous tissues are present in this theca. Sporogenous tissues act as PMC or MMC during the process of microsporogenesis. Again, very important diagram of your board examination. Enlarged view is shown over here with epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, tapetum. Inside a sporogenous tissue, each and every cell behave as PMC or MMC. The full form of MMC is microspore mother cell. This particular diagram is showing you the structure of mature anther, where the theca are converted into pollen sacs, where dehiscence will occur and all the pollen grains will be released out. So as you can see, there are so many diagrams in sexual reproduction in flowering plants chapter, and they are 100% important for your board exams. So no need to skip any of the diagram of this chapter especially. Alright, coming to next diagram. Next diagram is the figure showing you scanning electron micrograph of few pollen grains. In your NCERT, it is written that pollen grains are having different shapes and different sizes. So it can be seen over here with this particular electron micrograph. Now, the second figure is showing you the stages of microspore maturing into pollen grain. So this is a microspore tetrad. One microspore tetrad is shown over here. Now, how vacuole is getting enlarged and how it is shifting nucleus to the one side of the cell so that asymmetric mitosis can occur, leading to one large cell called as vegetative cell, one small cell called as generative cell. And you know that generative cell later on give rise to two male gametes by the process of mitosis. So you should know what is the process of microsporogenesis, how microspore tetrad is converting into pollen grains. Over here only one microspore is shown how it is converting into a pollen grain, but you should know that each and every microspore of microspore tetrad is responsible for formation of pollen grain. Next diagram, I have added this extra diagram for you so that in examination, if the question comes to draw the process of microsporogenesis, you can use this diagram. Microsporocyte undergoing meiosis to form microspore tetrad and how this is undergoing formation of vegetative generative cell and how it is leading to formation of a pollen grain. That is considered as male gametophyte. Okay? So in 2024 board examination, the question was from this particular figure. Draw a well-labeled diagram of male gametophyte. You know that male gametophyte is a pollen grain, and mature pollen grain is having germ pores, is having generative cell, is having generative nucleus, it is having exine and intine. Exine is made up of sporopollen and intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. So this question was already being asked in 2024 board examination. Again, very important diagram. Next, coming to female part, female reproductive system. In angiosperms, you know that this is called as pistil or carpel. Pistil or carpel. It is having three components: stigma, style and ovary. Thalamus or receptacle is present at the bottom, that is containing all the organs of the flowering plant, that is angiosperm. Now B is showing you the syncarpus condition, C is showing you the apocarpus condition. Syncarpus means fused carpels. Free carpels are called as apocarpus. Over here, this is the figure of anatropous ovule. Again, this is very important diagram for your board exam. You can see over here, we are having embryo sac that is surrounded by your integuments, inner and outer integuments. Two integuments are present in angiosperms. Then you have nucellular cells over here. Then microfilar end is present. that allows the entry of pollen tube. We have hilum and we have funicle, the attachment stalk of ovule with the placenta. Okay, so this is very important diagram for your board exam. Next diagram is very important, that is showing how the embryo sac or female gametophyte is formed. Female gametophyte is your embryo sac that is having various cells. 3 antipodal cells towards chalosyl end. Then at microfilar end, egg apparatus is present that is having egg cell and 2 synergids. Synergids are surrounded by filiform apparatus. At the center, polar nuclei are present. So center cell is called as central cell that contains 2 polar nuclei. So this is the process of megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis. So you have to draw this diagram when question comes from megasporogenesis. Okay. How megaspore mother cell undergoing formation of megaspore tetrad and how it is going to align all the cells in an embryo sac. Again, I have made a very simplified diagram for the process of megasporogenesis. You can draw this diagram in your examination. You can draw this diagram in your board exam. Simplified diagram explaining all the steps. It is similar to this particular figure given in your NCERT. Okay. Next diagram, again anatropous ovule. As I told you, anatropous ovule is very important. You have to label all the components of this anatropous ovule. This is the diagram of embryo sac. There is a possibility to have question in 2025 from this topic. Why? Because in 2024 the question came from male gametophyte. So this year you may get the question from female gametophyte. Next, very easy figures, chasmogamous flowers, clistogamous flower, open and closed flowers. Wind pollination. How wind pollination is done? What are the various characteristics of wind pollinated flowers? So you can make this diagram showing the wings, or you can say the leathery effects of the filamentous structure of the stamens and stigma. This is the stigma. Feathery stigma is present to capture the wind pollinated pollens. Okay. Next figure is of Vacillinaria. Vallicinaria. How pollination through water is done in Vallicinaria. This is a pollination done through insects. Alright. So this is very important. This is not that much important. This is important for your board exam. You can see that in Vallicinaria, the pollination is done with the help of water. Water is the agent of pollination in Vallicinaria. Over here, the male flowers are producing pollens that reaches to the female gamete. Female gamete that is released at the surface of water. So you have to draw this diagram for that. Next diagram is how pollen tube is germinating and how it is throwing the male gametes into egg apparatus. So you have to draw this diagram. You have to draw this diagram showing the growth of pollen tube through filiform apparatus and how it is throwing and releasing male gametes, one in egg cell and another one in polar nuclei. Next figure is the how fertilized embryo converts into your primary endosperm nucleus and zygote. This is your post-fertilization event. Post-fertilization events. Alright. Over here you can see these are degenerating synergids. This is zygote. This is primary endosperm cell. This is primary endosperm nucleus. These are the results of post-fertilization event. This structure is showing you embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. How zygote is converted into mature embryo. So globular embryo, then heart-shaped embryo followed by mature embryo. You have to draw this diagram when the question comes from embryogenesis. Next is your structure of dicot embryo and structure of monocot embryo. Dicot and monocot embryo. This is highly important because it has something special that is not present in dicot. Dicots are very simple, but monocots are having scutellum. That is very important, and they are having epiblast. Very important. Apart from this, they are having coleorhiza and they are having coleoptile. Coleoptile is covering the plumule, whereas radicle is covered by coleorhiza. Very, very important diagrams. Next, very simple diagram, the structure of various type of seeds. This is very important. I have already told you. This is the structure of monocot seed. How you can identify it? Because over here scutellum is given. Very important. Okay. And these are the figure of your false fruit, that is apple and your strawberry. So these were the various diagrams of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Again in detail, you can see the structure of maize seed, that is a monocot. This is not given in your NCERT. I have added this so that you can draw clearly the structure of maize seed. Okay. Coming to next chapter, that is principle of inheritance and variation. The very first figure given in this chapter is artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization. It is having two steps, emasculation and bagging. And this was the process technique used by Mendel for his experiments. So you have to draw this if question comes from artificial hybridization. Okay. Next, we have a dihybrid cross and a monohybrid cross structures. They are very important. As you know, in this chapter, the question will definitely come from monohybrid or dihybrid cross. Monohybrid means when one character is used for crossing. Dihybrid means when two contrasting characters are taken into consideration for crossing. So over here, this is very important, how the gametes are formed, how F1 generation is formed, and you have to make a Punnett square. This is a Punnett square that shows the possible genotypes from the gametes coming from mother and father. Then phenotypic and genotypic ratio are also very important. Phenotypic and genotypic ratios are very, very important in these type of questions. This is your incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance, again very important. These are the deviations from law of dominance. In incomplete dominance, the genotypic and phenotypic ratio are same. They are 1:2:1, 1:2:1. Over here, you are getting an intermediate color where the F1 generation offsprings do not resemble any of the parent. Alright. Then you have a test cross. Test cross is again very important. Definitely you will get the question from test cross in some or the other form, where you know the phenotype but you are not aware about the genotype. So what you have to do in test cross, the F1 generation is crossed with the recessive parent. Recessive parent. So you know that one parent is recessive, but another parent can be homozygous. Dominant, it can be heterozygous, right? So this is again very important cross in principle of inheritance and variation. You need to practice this. You need to practice the Morgan experiment. Morgan experiment. Long answer type question. Very, very important, beta. Don't skip this particular cross. It is highly important for your board exam. Morgan's experiment. If you are not getting this whole cross, you will get this thing to identify which is male, which is female. So try to practice this with their results. Results are very important for cross 1 and cross 2. If you have attended all the classes, then you are aware about this cross, how you have to make this cross, right? So don't forget to revise this cross n number of times before your examination. Next, again, very easy, how to identify the individuals having diseases in pedigree analysis. Then sex determination in honeybee, very important. Honeybee, you have to draw this diagram. Female are diploid with 32 chromosomes, males are haploid with 16 chromosome. And how they are producing drones through parthenogenesis, that is also very, very important. So do practice it. Next, only 2 diagrams of pedigree are given in your NCERT, but it doesn't mean that you will not get any other diagram, any other questions. But these 2 are the only figure of pedigree analysis given in your NCERT. One is autosomal dominant, another is autosomal recessive disease, right? So do practice and go through this as well. Coming to sickle cell anemia, very important. It is a blood disease, autosomal recessive disease. Over here, you can see at the 6th position, glutamic acid is converted into valine, that is changing the shape of RBC. This is happening in beta globulin gene, right? Beta globulin gene, right? Over here, next chapter is your molecular basis of inheritance. First figure is your core of histone molecules, that is having your H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 molecules. Then linker DNA is present, that is H1 histone. It is called as a linker DNA. Another important diagram of molecular basis of inheritance is replication. How replication is done, semi-conservative nature of replication. You know how continuous synthesis, discontinuous synthesis occurs. Another important diagram is your Hershey-Chase experiment. All the diagrams of molecular basis of inheritance are again very important as they show the experimental proof of DNA as the transforming principle or the genetic material. After this, you have the proof of semi-conservative nature of DNA. This is again a very important diagram. Then you have transcription unit. What is promoter? What is terminator? How template strand is converted into your RNA, right? Then you have process of transcription in prokaryotes and in eukaryotes. Very, very important. Eukaryotes are having 3 steps of post-transcriptional modification that is not occurring in bacteria. Next, you have adapter molecule tRNA structure. You can see over here how codon, anticodons and respective amino acids are added to the tRNA. This is very important. The process of translation, only single diagram is given in your NCERT. That is again very, very important topic, important diagram for your board exam. Okay, last is your operon and DNA fingerprinting. Over here, question will definitely come from lac operon. Lac operon, how it operates and how it works in the presence and absence of inducer. So you have to work on this diagram as well. Last diagram of this chapter is DNA fingerprinting. You know that DNA fingerprinting is very important technique used in forensic sciences, used to check the population genetics, used to check the criminal or to detect the criminal. So you have to draw this diagram when you are writing about DNA fingerprinting. Lastly, talking about ecology chapters, you have very simple diagrams. The first diagram from organism and population chapter is your age pyramids, very, very important diagram. How expanding, stable and declining population are, you have to remember about that. Then population density, who are controlling, what are the attributes of population density, you should know about them. Then the comparison between the 2 population growth curves. 2 population growth curves, they are again very important. You have to practice them. You can't skip this from ecology. Comparison is very, very important among these 2 diagrams. Then coming to ecosystem, the diagrammatic representation of decomposition, again very important topic. Then representation of trophic levels, how producers and till decomposers or till tertiary consumers are present in an Food chain, you should know about that. Energy flow, you know the 10% loss of energy is done at each and every step of trophic level. This is again important. Then the pyramids. Pyramids are very important. Do revise them. Pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass in aquatic ecosystem, very important. Then pyramid of energy. In biodiversity chapter, you have only one diagram, that is representation of global diversity in plants, vertebrates, invertebrates. Very, very important diagram. Last diagram of microbes in human welfare is biogas plant. Sewage treatment plant is very important topic, but no diagram is given in your NCERT, so don't worry about that. In long answer type question, you should know about biogas plant. Very, very important diagram, and it's very easy. Just draw this diagram, just write biogas, you will get full marks. So that was all about the diagrams of your NCERT for botany subject. Do well, prepare well, practice them all the very best for your board exams. Bye-bye, take care, have a great day.